March 3, 2009, Istanbul. Inside an ordinary garbage container, a black guitar case was found. It didn't just hold a lifeless body. It ignited a national firestorm. A murder case that shattered trust in justice, exposed systemic failures, and scarred the collective conscience of a country. This is the haunting story of Münevver Karabulut. Münevver Karabulut was 17 years old, a cheerful, ambitious high school senior in Istanbul. She dreamed of studying at university. Her friends remember her as full of life, always laughing. Then she met Cem Garipolu, the son of a wealthy and well-connected industrialist family. At first, their relationship seemed like young love, but it would spiral into something dark and deadly. March 3, 2009, 12:47 p.m. Cem buys a large saw from a hardware store near his home in Bahçeşehir. 1:10 p.m. He returns to the family villa. 3:21 p.m. Münevver arrives and enters the house with him through the back door. 7:26 p.m. Cem is seen leaving the villa carrying a guitar case and dragging a suitcase. Later that night, a scrap collector in Istanbul finds the guitar case inside a dumpster. Inside are Münevver's remains. Her head had been severed and placed inside the case. The entire country froze in horror. The villa contained extensive blood traces and cutting tools, confirming it as the crime scene. According to the autopsy, Münevver had 29 knife wounds, 13 on her head and neck alone. The decapitation led the press to call it the severed head murder. But a shocking scandal emerged. A semen sample found on her clothing turned out to belong to another corpse that had been autopsied on the same table earlier that day. An accidental contamination. This revelation sparked a nationwide outcry about the credibility and competence of the Forensic Medicine Institute. It reminded everyone, this was not just a murder. It exposed systemic cracks in justice itself. Police immediately named Cem as the prime suspect, but he vanished. For 197 days, he was on the run. Public anger boiled over. How could a teenage suspect from a rich family disappear while the entire country watched? Protests erupted. Then Istanbul's police chief made a chilling remark, suggesting the victim's family had failed to protect her. The backlash was immense. Finally, on September 17, 2009, Cem turned himself in through his lawyers, ending the 197-day manhunt. In November 2011, the court found Cem Garipolu guilty of deliberate murder with monstrous intent and torment, and sentenced him to 24 years in prison. Why not life without parole? Because Cem was 17 at the time of the crime. Turkish Penal Code Article 31 grants juveniles a reduced maximum of 24 years. The Supreme Court upheld the sentence in March 2012. His mother and uncle were also convicted for destroying evidence and aiding a fugitive, receiving 3-year prison terms. His father faced no sentence due to legal immunity for close relatives who shelter fugitives. But the story did not end in prison. On October 10, 2014, Cem Garipolu was found dead in his cell in Silivri prison. Officials declared it a suicide by hanging. But the public never stopped questioning. Did he really die, or was he secretly smuggled out and protected? Quote, for a decade, rumors refused to die. Then, in October 2024, prosecutors ordered his grave to be opened. DNA tests on the remains confirmed it was Cem. Authorities stated there was no evidence to support claims that he faked his death or escaped. The villa in Bahçeşehir where Münevver was killed stood empty for years. Locals called it the Cursed House. It was eventually demolished as part of an urban renewal project, but its shadow lingers in the memory of a neighborhood and a nation. The murder of Münevver Karabulut became a symbol of gender-based violence and flawed justice in Turkey. From the contamination scandal to the failed manhunt, from institutional sexism to victim-blaming comments by officials, this case exposed cracks in the system that cost a young woman her life. A legal file may close, but the questions it leaves behind do not. How do we prevent the next Münevver? How do we build a system that protects the vulnerable, not the powerful? Quote, her name remains a scar and a warning. To honor Münevver Karabulut is to fight for a world where such stories never happen again. Don't let her story fade. Subscribe, share, and tell us what you think.